Hey singers, I want to talk with you about what 1 year of focused work can do for you. So I'm going to make you be my typical singer. You know that you're talented. You know that you want to have a career in this business. And perhaps you're following along with my social media, or you're doing one of the intermediate programs, or you're doing the elite coaching program. Regardless of what program you're doing, whether it's with me or somebody else, there's 3 parts to your career. I call them pillars that you have to accomplish in order to have your career launched. Your voice needs to be ready. So your voice is the first pillar. Okay. The second pillar is your artistry, what you do as a storyteller, as an actress, as you will, as a communicator, as somebody who is a performer. So you're fully able to engage in what it is that you're creating. So your voice, your artistry, and then the last thing is your audience. So your voice, your artistry, and your audience. You have to establish those 3 things in order to have a successful career. If you don't sing well, if you don't communicate well, and if you don't have anybody to watch you, if you're missing any of those things, it's not very viable that you'll be able to maintain a career. So in your training program, whether you are self-taught, whether you're working with one person or you're working with a team, you have to continually be checking those benchmarks. That's your training program: my voice, my artistry, my audience. At any given time, you will be spending more time on one than another. Perhaps you've already established yourself vocally and you feel like you have a good foundation as a singer. You sing well, you sing consistently. That doesn't mean you're not growing. Of course you're growing. You're continuing to grow. You're continuing to work. You have a good repertoire. And your artistry is one of those things, by the way, that you only really develop in front of an audience, because you have to see if it lands. You have to see if what you think you're communicating is what's being received. Just like in a relationship, you can think about all the things you want to say to somebody, but if they don't understand it, or they don't get it, or they don't agree with it, all of a sudden that relationship is compromised. So your voice and your artistry, and then your audience. Now, I want to talk about your audience really specifically, because audience is one of those things. You don't wait for somebody to say, I'll be your manager. You don't wait for somebody to say, I'm going to put you in an arena with 10,000 people. You don't wait for somebody to say, I'm going to give you a concert series. I'm going to give you an opera audition. I'm going to get you on Broadway. You create an audience and you create opportunities to sing. This is the weak point for every single singer. Every single singer is they want somebody to do this work for them, or they feel they're not ready to do it. So in order to create an audience right now, and it's different, it is changing so dramatically, the main thing you have to recognize, and this is more work for you, I know it's more work for you, is that social media, I'm putting it in air quotes, is not social media anymore. It's not about a place to connect with friends. It's the only place to transfer information. Everything we do is digital, and most media is generated by an individual. So you have to become, and I'm going to call it social media, but remember, it's media. This is how you connect with the 7 billion people on the planet. And 3 billion of them see your posts or somebody else's every day. Half the planet, literally half the planet, is on the internet every day. That's a big audience. So if you're spending a lot of time on social media strategizing, social media trying to figure out a workflow that works for you, it's because that's the only way you're going to get your audience. And your job is to find your audience, more importantly, let them find you, and then continue to sing for them. It is strenuous, it is arduous, the landscape keeps changing. Yes, you can simplify it, but be consistent. Find something where people can find your work and find you and see the evolution of you, all the different things that you do. But you have to use media, social media, to do that. And you have to find a way that it works for your lifestyle. For many singers, that transition to being a professional singer where you're sustaining yourself, you're making a living, people are contacting you saying, I want to hire you, means in the interim, you're working a full-time job, you're raising a family, you're doing all the different things that human beings do on this planet. So it's a lot of extra time and work, and you want to simplify your systems. So your training program, again, whether you're self-taught, you're doing it with YouTube videos, you're doing it with a coach, you're doing it with a team, is a constant query, a constant question. Am I being efficient? Can I do this better in terms of managing my media? But you have to do it. You have to continue to build an audience. And I guarantee you, if you are making recordings and videos all the time, think of them as your portfolio, my classical singers, okay? Think of them as your reels, my musical theater / actors, okay? Think of them as demos, my pop singers. You're out there. You're creating a presence. So if you want to simplify, simplify, but you have to continue to build your audience. Remember, just to recap, the 3 pillars for success. I don't know how you can build a career without all 3 of those. Are your voice. Are you managing your voice? Are you managing your artistry? Are you managing your audience? They all need to be in place. If you spend all your time on 2 of the pillars and you're missing the 3rd pillar, guess what? It's going to crumble. You need at least 3 pillars to create a foundation to build something on. There are other smaller pillars, but those are the ones that are non-negotiable. So if you're weak in one of those 3 pillars, your voice, your artistry, or your audience, please find a system, find a coach, find a community, engage and build in one or all of those areas. If I can be of help, please let me know. You can check out my link below and see what some of my programs are. You can do it yourself. You just have to do it. If you want somebody to partner with you, we can do that too. I want you to be a singular success.